Well, hello, I'm Michael,
And I'm Michelle.
and together we make up M&M Model Railways. And what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be actually painting our railing, as you can see in this picture right here. Um, let's go and see where it's going to be installed on our model train layout, and then let's come back in here and let's paint our railing and our posts. And we're also going to glue all this together in the same video and install it on our train layout. So we'll be right back here shortly. Location of where I'm going to put these railings that we're making is, as you can tell, as we travel down our highway here, this road is very curvy. And as you can tell underneath that bridge, you can see a hint of a tail end of a white car. But this road curves to the right and it also curves to the left. So what I want to do is I want to put the guardrails on each side of that curve, so when it comes around there it's protected. So that's where I'm going to put it at.
Right about here?
Yep, and on the other side of it too, the high side and the low side, and she's pointing out where the car is. Let me show you on the other side of it what it looks like from the downside. Yeah, and as you can see underneath here is the underside of that bridge. And if I get low enough, you can see the other car that's coming at us. Okay, well, let's take an imaginary scene. If this car was going at a fast rate, we need to have a guardrail so they don't, first of all, so they don't hit the embankment or go down into the river, or if they're coming from the other way, they don't hit the embankment that's down underneath there. So that road needs to be protected. The traffic needs to be protected. And as you can tell, that car is going that way. And if it was going too fast, it could swerve off that road. Same thing with the car that's coming that way. And if you look in there, you can see where it's coming around that corner. It needs to have protection against obstacles that could be creating the hazardous area, just like in the real railroad. So we need to paint those guardrails and get them installed. And let's go back to the table where we're actually working on them so you can see what we're planning to do with our little windy, curvy road. Well, here we are zoomed in on our work area, and we're both trying to get in the video, but you're not going to be seeing our face. So what Michelle's going to be doing here is she's going to be cutting these. These are the railings, and if you look really close, they're divided by the black area. But there's a big railing and a little railing. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but if you look at the black area, you're going to see a little itty bitty line. Mm-hmm. So it looks like that. So it says here. Railing with two grooves facing up. So you're going to have to divide those with your knife.
So let me make sure I'm going to cut these right. Okay, so I have to cut, let's see, for example, right here and right here.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would go ahead and cut it out and then just have your individual railing.
You got to cut these individual ones out.
Maybe it's more visible. No, that side's the side you got to paint.
I see where I have to cut.
So the black is your outline.
I see.
You see?
I see.
So it's gonna be tricky.
I got it.
So
I've done tricky stuff.
And what I'm going to be doing while she's doing that is
I'm going to cut one out just to show you.
I'm going to be cutting out the posts. The posts are in a thing like this, and it comes apart really easy. And I'm going to use these tweezers.
I'm going to turn the other light on.
I'm going to use these tweezers so you can get an idea of how big these posts are. So we're going to divide all that, and I'm going to put mine in this little dish here so I don't lose them. And she's going to cut hers out, and I'm going to go ahead and divide mine, and we'll start painting here.
Please hit that subscribe button. And we want you to enjoy all of our model railroad videos. I don't know why that gets me tongue-tied.
Enjoy the music as we work along, and just try to watch what we're doing here in case you might want to do this yourself.
So I'm getting there. Take this other side and then it'll be free.
It's nice to see that these are perforated.
My blade is tiny right at the tip.
You're cutting yours out. Doing good?
Yep. See how they're loose? Starting to look like a little fan. Okay, there. 1, 2, 3. I want to pull them because they are very, very fragile. So I'm going to go back with my knife. Just double check where the cutting spot is. There we go. There we go. You don't want to pull these off with your hand. They will break.
On mine, I'm just holding them and pushing them through with these tweezers. They're very, very, very tiny. Again, we are modeling N scale. It says that this is actually making 440 linear feet in
N scale?
no, in actual modeling, but in all actualities, this is only 15 inches in N scale. We live in the United States, so we put everything into inches, not centimeters or millimeters. How some model railroaders do it. It's part of building an empire, right? Very tedious.
Yeah, one step at a time. Okay, I got them all out. This is the stencil. Okay, there's okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Alright, you guys, I got them all cut out. So, wow, those are tiny.
Yep, I got mine all cut out. That's all trash now. And I've got a whole bowl full. I'll go back here to the light, so yeah, you can see them. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to put some of them that I'm going to paint.
Making a scoop them out.
And scoop them out. What I'm going to use for mine is teddy bear brown paint. It's a lighter color of brown that I painted some of the highlights on my river with it.
And I'm going to paint, let's see.
I'm going to put a little water in my thing and mix it a little bit.
I'm going to paint these silver, right, babe?
Silver.
Or aluminum?
It's no silver, the lighter color.
Let me make sure I got the right one. This is aluminum. I better
silver.
go. I'll go get my silver. Be right back, folks.
Always a joy to do things as a couple. You got to be prepared and organized, and so now I like that shade of the lighter brown, as you can tell. There it is. So I wonder. I got a little tiny paintbrush, but I'm wondering if these would almost be okay, just the color that they are, but I'm going to go ahead and just, yeah, I'm going to have to brush them because
if you're using model paints, what I like to do is shake them real good so they're all blended in. And if it's still a little liquidy on the top, I use a toothpick to stir it. But I've used this one recently, so I don't think I'll have to stir it. Just give it a good shake. Alright, I think that'll be okay.
Dip it down in that paint.
There we go. Yeah, I used it recently, so. Anyway, this is my silver. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, I am going to use, are you going to use these? Or this?
No, I'm good where I'm at.
Okay. I'm going to use my helping hands. So I can paint these. They won't squeeze it too much.
Did you guys know that in the model railroad world on YouTube, we are the only husband and wife team that actually are doing a model train layout on videos together?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've been around model trains and real trains all my life. My parents used to take us kids up to Landwood Springs area where they have a little train you can ride. Goes up a canyon and then you can get out and have lunch and then hike around or look around, and then it goes backwards down the canyon. It's pretty fun. It's beautiful over there. It's called Tiny Town. Then we rode the Durango train. My dad and I built models together. Not as intricate as nowadays.
Your model paint stinks a whole lot worse than my paint does.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Get the sides.
This is the same color I want to paint the corrals of our quality stockyards too.
Alright folks, hopefully you can see the difference. I don't know if the lighting will pick it up. But as you can see, where I painted the silver and the brown, it's going to look pretty real. Our lighting is not real good, so I'm trying to see if you guys can see the difference. This stuff relaxes my mind. How about you, babe?
Yeah, this tedious stuff though, it makes my neck hurt just a little bit. There's a lot of these little posts.
I would use my clips. But
it's going to take too long.
Okay.
I want to get this done this year.
Just make sure, like, on the side that it's on the, the bottom.
Well, once we get them glued together, I can turn them on your railings that you're doing and touch up my paint from there.
You can do 2 of these at a time. And then also, I just thought of another idea I can do. Paint some more. Okay.
I'll be wanting to rotate these over so they don't stick to my paint tray too. Dip them down in that paint, and then brush on the rest of it from what I pick up on that one side. I think that works pretty good. We get double action in this video, my friends. You get to watch both of us doing our thing here. I think this is the first time I've made a video with both of us doing the same thing. Kind of different application, but we're still painting.
We gotta get those guardrails done because we don't want nobody going over to the river.
And as you know, those cars will be, the headlights will work and the tail lights will work. So
it'll reflect off the guardrails too. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, I got one side done. So big difference. So if you can see the bottom side, there's a little bit of paint that dripped through. Now I got to do the bottom side. Well, those look real, huh? Okay, I'll just flip it over. edges too. I don't care if I get paint on this. I bought it last month, so it's going to be all different colors of paint, I bet, by the time I go.
Well, my friends, you've watched us do about 12 minutes of the same thing, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll pause our video. We'll go ahead and paint what we're doing here, and then we'll come back in the next step, which will be the assembly part, and I'll talk to you through these directions here on how it all works. It ought to be an entertaining thing for us, but it's going to look amazing on our model train layout. So keep watching, and we'll be back in just a little bit. As you can tell, I just wanted to give you an idea of where the railing has been installed at so far. So you can see that we have installed it where this curve is here. What I like about this bridge is I could temporarily lift it out. So you can see that the railing actually goes all the way along there. Now, if we put the bridge back in, you can see that if we have a car here that's coming this way, and maybe he's speeding out of control, he can actually hit this embankment over here. So we want to be able to deflect that too. So we're going to be able to take another guardrail from here all the way and just run it right about to here. We're not going to run it all the way along there, but just from here to about here. So we'll probably do 1.5 maybe through here. So that's my intentions anyway. So it's really hard to build this. So I want to show you what I did to get it to this point first, and then we'll show you how I made the railings. So as you can tell on here, there's some yellow grass alongside the road. So I put it all the way here and all the way on the other side, and I put it here and I stopped it here. So how do I put that yellow grass on the road? Okay, any roads that you ever drive down, most of them have yellow grass along the side of the road. So I'm going to show you how I put that yellow grass down, and then we'll go and we'll make some guardrails and we'll actually install them for you. And there's a couple different ways to make them, as well as a couple ways to install them. So I think that'll be a pretty cool thing for you to see. So let's install some of that yellow grass, and so you can see how I put that down. When I use the grass, what I'm using is a coarse turf from Woodland Scenics, and its color is yellow grass. Then we're going to apply some Mod Podge here, as you can see, and I'm going to use a little brush. Basically all I do is just use the Mod Podge, which is a bonding agent and also a sealing agent, and I'm going to make a path through there of yellow grass. I'm going to take it all the way to the edge of the road. You can go out a little ways with this Mod Podge. It takes a little bit to dry, but don't try to do your whole layout until you get, you got to put your ground cover on there and then go back over it, So I think that'll be good for now. So this comes with a shaker applicator, as you can see here. We can open this up and shake it out, but I don't do that. I take it and open it up and just use my fingers and lay it with my fingers very gently over that blue area. That gives me the representation of dead grass or yellow grass on the road. It's one of my lighted cars right there, so I want to be careful working around there. I don't want to really use the shaker application on it. So that's how I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out this side of my road, and then we'll show you how I assemble some of that chain link fence. Not chain link fence, I'm sorry. We'll be doing chain link fence later. I'm talking about guardrails. We'll talk to you in a little bit. In order to show you what I'm going to do here, I need to mark the edge of the bridge here. So I put my little screwdriver in to show where the edge of the bridge is at. So then I'm going to take this out of here. We'll lay this out of our way. So we have two different areas of railing that we're going to put in here. So we want to establish more of a curve here, and then we want to do a straight little section right there. So this is where the bridge embankment's at. So I'm going to take this one and build it straight with my jig, and then we're going to place this one manually in here and put the posts in the ground, and then we'll put the railing around that. But we all start with how it forms on a straight edge. So let me go show that to you, and let's get started on making this first railing that goes on this side of the bridge, but we're going to actually put one underneath there as well, so that whole road is divided with that railing. So let's go over to my work table, and let's see how we actually make this come together. As you can see in the kit that we purchased here, it has a diagram of what to do. So this here is the jig that they're talking about. So that's the jig. So you want to set the jig along a flat surface like you see that I'm doing there. And then it says pin it down so it doesn't move. What I do is set it on an edge. I put these nails all the way through there because it makes it easier that way. And since we're using this little piece of this edge right here, as you can see, it's got a groove side with it where you can see, and you probably can't see it on the camera very well, but there is two different grooves. So I'm going to put that groove side down. So I'm going to put this together. It's going to show a little bit differently. What I want to do is I want to use these little posts. Set up my jig, and we painted them earlier, as you can tell there. They're painted. So it looks like I need 4 of those little ones. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out 4 of my posts. 3, 4. What I found is they want me to set something straight up in there, so I'm going to set that up in there like that. These posts set down on my jig, like so. So if I was doing a long one, it'd be basically the same connecting factor as the rest of it. This is the short piece that we're using. We've got to establish height. That's one of the critical things that I'm doing here right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that on there on my ruler that you see. Then I'm going to take some crazy glue. I'm going to put a little dab of crazy glue on the edge of each one of these areas, just a little dab. I'm going to use these needle nose pliers. I'm going to put that all the way into that jig. Put the railing flat up against your jig. Make sure your spacing is adequate. And that should adhere to it and let it set up on its own. And that's all there is to it. It's really tedious, and sometimes it doesn't get on there like it should. You just have to keep working with it. And there is some pretty good directions to it. There are different ways to do this. You'll just have to play along with it. When I first started out, I put it along the side, as you can see in this picture. That seemed to work pretty good, but you got to come in here and you got to lift that piece up as well. And we're going to do that by putting something underneath here. Lift this piece up. Pretty delicate detail. I'm pulling up the edge of my ruler to make it come into contact with the edge of my pieces. And if you just be patient enough, that the glue will dry and they'll be stuck on there where you need them to be. You might have to pick them up a little later and put some more glue on there. Let me pivot around so you can see it from both angles here. That's what it looks like from there. So as you can tell, I've used some clips to lift that level up so that comes into contact with that. So let's let that dry for a while, and then we'll see about putting that onto the train layout, and I'll show you how to do the next one. Well, since I got this little piece marked, what I want to do is actually got it built, but after I got the holes marked, I want to mark the holes with it setting there so I have the proper measurement on it. And I can make a little wider hole there right next to the road for the rail post to set in. Remember, I got foam underneath there, so that ought to help to adhere it down in there. Next thing we want to do is use some glue down in that hole, and then we're going to set the railing there with the post in the railing towards the road. This is a very delicate part of the project here. So take your time. Be very, very careful with it. It's very gentle, very delicate. Now pushing it down into those holes that I made. can go next to it if you have to and make another hole. That's why we use super glue on it. So I've got some loose cars. I'm going to put a loose car in there and see where we're at according to our height. I use this white car. It's coming up to about the side of the window. This is going to establish the height of the next section of railing coming through here. Being we put foam underneath here, we ought to be able to push this down in here a little bit and get the distance that we want. As you can tell, I got that railing setting on there pretty good. Back you up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Now what I want to do is I want to mark the railing post holes coming around, because that's the next thing I'm going to put in here. So I'm going to start over here on this far end where you see me at, and I'm going to put a little red mark where I'm going to put the hole at. And as you can tell, this is coming around a curve. So these posts are going to be coming around this curve as well. So I've got to build it a different way, as you can see there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish my height of each post for this first one that I just made. And I've got the posts in my little baggie here with my extra railing. So I need 7 of these little posts. So I'm going to put 7 posts down on the road so I can get to them easier. Now what I want to do is this post has a little wider side on it, as you can tell there. It goes out to the road. Put my glue down in there, right next to your white line on the outside of the road. You just work with your height, so it's going to be the same height as your other one, and just keep going until you get them in there. Slots down into your foam, a little bit of glue, post. Making sure you put that railing side where it belongs. That way it will stay on the curve and it won't end up like the straight piece that's underneath there. I've never done these before, so this is the first time putting this together. And I'm looking to make sure that we're our posts are around the same height. Leave the screwdriver in there so I know where my next hole's at. Hoping that glue seeps down in around these posts. This is how I did the curve coming back into that other bridge. It seemed to work pretty good like that. And here's the last post hole. So trust me, this is the easy part. The hard part's going to be to get that railing come around in there and stay on all these posts. So what I'm gonna do is get down here at eye level and make sure you like how it's sloping around. All right, now we have to wait for those to dry. I'll probably wait for those to dry overnight, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start bowing this around it to form our railing. You can kind of play with it for a little bit before you get it set up to make sure everything is going to come into alignment where you want it to be. Again, it's a tough job, and I'll be showing you how I'm going to be doing that in the next step here when I bring the step back online again here. I'll be talking to you again soon. Well, there's one last thing we got to do here, and that's establish where this railing is going to be glued to on the posts. So that's where the template comes in handy at again. So you can take a little marker and you can put a little mark on each one of the post areas. The inside of it where you're going to put your glue at. And that way you don't have to guess when you're trying to put your glue in there. As you can tell, I've got that marked. So what I want to do is I want to get a couple of clips and I want to get my super glue, and I'm going to start with these first areas here, and it's just going to go as far as it can and being clipped. I want that to set up before I start pulling around the corner. Let me show you how I do that. I have these little alligator clips here. So I'm going to use those to start my first process. So what I want to do is I want to put my glue on my first 2 posts. So it goes down. Because that's pretty straight, I'm going to put it on 3 of them. This is clear glue, so it should dry clear. What I'm going to do is find my red marks and make that go to the top and put my first clamp on there. Very tedious work, so make sure that you're taking your time. Make sure you're not too stressed out about it. The first one is clamped. I'm going to go ahead and clamp this 3rd one because the 3rd and the 1st one will help hold that 2nd one. So I'll make sure that we're going to be able to reach all that. Alright. The directions say that it takes roughly 10 minutes for that to set up. So I don't want it on the ground, I want it to come up, so just double check everything. It'll be tedious. Alright, we're not on the ground. We're pretty much where we gotta be. Alright. I'm gonna let that set in that area for 10 minutes or so until it sets up. And then we'll go ahead and keep gluing it around until we come around to the edges over here. Keep lifting it, keep bending it. Any other clamps that you have to try to help you put that on there, the better. Alright, we'll let that set for a little bit and then we'll come and do some more. Well, as you can see right here, we have all the clamps on it. And our height is pretty much where we want it to be. Now, the directions on the super glue say it sets in 10 minutes, but I'm going to let it sit on there for a couple hours just because I don't want to mess with it too much. So we'll be back here in a couple hours and we'll see how this finally looks with the bridge on it. So that's a wrap on this part of this. Keep watching so you can see the finished reveal. Well, there's the final reveal, and I have a couple of cars that are on there. They're actually going to be changed out to some light cars. There's one of them right there. So they're going to go underneath the bridge, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. They'll have a brake light and a headlight that will light up. And go ahead and put the bridge over this temporarily so you can see that we have cleared our bridge with a railing. I think that looks pretty cool. Let me give you a kind of a little bit more of a tour on what that looks like. As you get down here a little lower, looks really cool. And you can see the cars coming at you. And once the headlights and the taillights work, you'll be able to see those and they'll look even more beautiful. So I like that. I think that's a wrap on a railing. I'm not sure where else I might want to put it. I am going to put a little bit of a railing at the end of this parking spot right here so people can't just drive off into the river there. I'll be working on that later. And I don't think we need any more. I might consider putting some right here. Might be a good place to put some. we'll see kind of how it all works out. I want to change out these HO signals. They're kind of irritating me. I do have some N scale signals that will actually be working, so that's going to be pretty cool. So my friends, let's turn this camera around and let's finish out this video. So my friends, as you can see, it's been a really enjoyable time here. I've enjoyed this video of putting the railing on. My next video I want to do is I want to show you how I'm going to install those lit cars underneath that bridge back here. That'll be a pretty cool thing. And my wife is supposed to be finishing this river on video down there pretty quick. We're going to be doing that. So the cars, lighting, how I install and light the cars, and then how my wife finishes out the further two areas of that river. Those two videos are coming up next. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and see this thing come to life. And as you can see back there, we do have a work in progress, and where all that debris is, we'll have a livestock facility that's going to be built there. That's coming up probably in another month or so. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.